Hey everybody, it's Friday. I'm pretty sure it's Friday. I'm still Kevin Murcko. This is still CoinMetro, though I'm coming live from a different location. Looks about the same though. Still interplanetary. Let me get a sound check. Let me know about echoes. Let me know about volume. Let me know all that good stuff. And then we can get rolling here. Different camera. Looks like I might need to go out and get a better camera maybe. I don't know. Either that or I just look terrible today, or yellow, or I don't know what I'm looking at. Anyway, guys, give me a sound check and we can start off on this journey today, Friday, June 25th, 2021. Sound check, guys, please. Guys, girls, whatever. Sound check, sound check, sound check. Da, 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 da. No one wants to give me a sound check. White balance is off. Yeah, I can see that as well. Thank you. Problem is that this new camera, check this out. I'll show you what happens when I try to adjust the white balance. You ready for this? Ready? Okay, it starts there. Let's see. Actually, maybe somewhere right there. No, actually, no partying at all. I think I went to sleep at 10 o'clock, to be honest. I'm an alien. Right on. I don't know what that really means. But, the blue stuff, Yeah. Okay, so that white balance looks a little better, I think. Sorry, guys. I tried to set all this stuff up in the last couple of days, been busy. But I think we're good now, so we're going to get started. If anybody has any issues with my white balance, hold on. Yeah, there I look kind of tan. That's kind of nice. That's not the reality, though. So, yeah. Oh, Jesus, that's not me. That's about right there, I think. Anyway, we're going to keep it there. I'm going to stop fiddling around with these color adjustments. Okay, here we go. Let me get up to the top of this list. I'm going to start going through these questions. If you have a question, you can obviously post it. This is an AMA. That's what we do here. Good afternoon. Hey, John. Good afternoon to you. Okay, we got a quick question here from Bjorn. Any updates regarding Austrian and German, users and the possibility to just lock their XCM to access the 3 tiers without staking? Hold on, guys. I'm going to get rid of these. Also didn't get rid of any of these. I got too many apps open. Jesus, pretty amateur. But let me knock this stuff out of the park here so we don't have notifications coming in all day long. That should do it. Oh, one more. Okay, sorry. So any updates? So it's being worked on. No additional update yet. Our CTO got back from his honeymoon. Congratulations, Salvatore, by the way. Thanks for inviting me to the wedding. The Lambos were really cool. And don't forget to send me your address because I still got to send you your wedding presents. WhatsApp will work for that, by the way. So yeah, access 3 tiers. So it is done or out of the planning stage. It just needs to be added. I believe it's going to be adding into the settings page in the next update of the settings page. I would expect that to happen within the next 30 days, if not less. I'll get a better update on that probably today at Friday's meeting, our TGIF meeting, which we're going to have after this AMA. So if you guys want to ask me a Telegram afterward, I should have an update for you. Hey, Kev, any news about XCM as collateral on margin and becoming trammable? Did flash crashes change your plans? No, not necessarily. Just obviously, as we've said in the past, in order to get XCM as a trammable asset, trammable, I like that, it's a verb now. To get XCM as a trammable asset, what we need to be able to do, obviously, is to make sure that there's enough liquidity sitting inside that book so that we don't see these type of quote unquote flash crashes. Again, most of the times, I would say almost all the times these have happened in the past, they actually don't have much to do with XCM. There are people that have longed XCM or shorted XCM using Bitcoin or Ethereum as collateral. Bitcoin or Ethereum see a quick drop in price. They don't have enough collateral to hold the position, which closes those longs. However, wasn't necessarily because XCM fell in price, but that causes a stop out cascade, which then causes XCM to fall in price. So one, what we can do there to eliminate some of that risk, though it would add additional risk on other sides, would be simply to go ahead and remove the collateral limits and allow people to put as much collateral as they want and raise the leverage upwards of 10, 15, 20x, maybe 25 at the most. 25 I don't think we'd go to right away, but that's where probably we would stop. That would also allow people to have more flexibility, and thus when their collateral falls in value, as long as they're not completely over leveraged, which they may still be, it wouldn't cause an issue inside the XCM book. Also, adding more liquidity into XCM obviously is going to help. So it hasn't changed the plan, but it has maybe slowed us down a bit, because it doesn't make any sense to offer that if it's only going to cause additional issues. Obviously, allowing it to be trammable would free up a lot of collateral for people, and we could put that collateral not at 1-to-1, but maybe 0.25 to 1 or 0.10 to 1, meaning that you put up 1,000 worth of XCM in collateral euro value, and you get 100 or 250 or 500 worth of actual collateral to trade with. And this would limit as well the amount of collateral we need to put up at liquidity providers. Remember, liquidity providers at this point aren't accepting XCM as collateral, which means when you put up XCM as collateral, we need to find additional collateral company money to be able to place with the liquidity provider, or we need them to give us more leverage than we're giving you. Both of those are things that need to be negotiated, and obviously have been, and will continue to be. And we're getting to a point now where we're also doing enough business with the liquidity provider where hopefully XCM will be something that they'll be able to give us some collateral on. Again, probably not 1-to-1, but something close to it. Moving on. I'm leaving the questions up again today, guys, if you noticed. Maybe marketing's not going to like that. I don't know, but many people have asked for it, so hopefully we can work around it. How is recruiting going? New devs on board? No new devs yet. UI UX guy though. I think Oliver had a talk with the UI UX guy. Gave his thumb up. Boomer. Gave the thumbs up, I guess, to HR to hire that person. So devs, I'm not sure. I think we have had some interviews, though I don't know of anybody that's went along to, let's say, a second or third interview yet. Not that we do 3 interviews with everybody. Recruiting is going well, though, in general. A few more people on customer support. Somebody, I believe, coming in compliance. This potential UI UX role being filled. And also some on the treasury management side as well. So recruiting is moving along and going well. In general, devs, because they're some of the hardest things to find in Estonia, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. We're still looking, though I know we've had some interviews. I'm also in Mexico right now, for those who don't know, and we're going to be putting up an office here to potentially hire somewhere between 15 and 25 people before the end of the year, mainly compliance, finance, and support. But if we can find some devs, we'll definitely bring on some devs here as well. Jens, hey Kevin. Hey Jens, what are the next few things in progress that will pivot volumes to new levels? Good question, Jens. I think everything we do, positively at CoinMetro, is something that's going to bring volumes. Obviously, one of the biggest things that's going to bring volumes now is marketing. And we are starting now with the new additions to our marketing team to expand on marketing. Look, just because you can't see it doesn't mean nothing's happening. Lots of things need to happen behind the scenes for us to have successful marketing campaigns. And that includes getting us on Facebook, getting on Google other than the US, being able to do ads through Twitter about crypto and not just polls, etc. All that stuff, it has been in motion for some time, but it's still in motion. And now working on different ways that we can engage with social media and looking for other even local things like we can do in Estonia and potentially even Mexico at some point. Couple of those ideas floating around about doing different localized campaigns that's going to help us basically become #1 in a few specific countries, first where we're based as a test, and then in others. But other things, I think bringing on additional staking is going to help bring on additional, let's say, passive income programs, whether that be staking, whether that be baking, whether that be bonding, hint, hint. Also bringing on new listings. We're going to kick it up a notch in the month of July with listings. You're going to see, I think, quite a slew, another boomer word for you, of listings coming in July. On the back of listings, also looking now, coming out of the summer into the fall to finally launch those challenger bank services. Big news for today is that our EMI agent license is now passported through the entirety of Europe, with the exception of Germany, Austria, and Malta. Why Germany, Austria, and Malta? Well, they don't allow now passporting of agent licensing. You have to have full EMI, and you have to have a location in those countries with a company based in those countries. For now, we're not going to do that, though that will be something we do down the road. But since the passporting has now been completed, it means we can now start on the integration side to get those challenger bank services ready and out for you. That means we can also start application processes for debit cards, virtual and physical, and that's going to start probably as early as next week, which means within 8 to 12 weeks from there, we should have the ability to issue cards. We have the new app coming out, the first version probably in August. That's going to do wonders, I think, for signups and to bring in new clients. Even the current app brings in about 21% of our current signups. But the new app, even if it just stays and maintains at that level, is definitely going to convert more of those signups. So that's also something that's coming in the very near future. Probably in August, V1 of the app, and then very quick V1, .1, .2, .3, .4, .5, .6 releases. We want to have releases very fast, every 2 weeks or so that we can get that app up to speed and get it out to its full capacity as soon as possible. Big guy, hey Kev, Indian stock market is no longer coming to CoinMetro. Okay, many people will have found IGN through CoinMetro. This is sad news for affiliates. Can you share refers to Ignium or open more revenue streams to affiliates? Definitely opening more revenue streams to affiliates is something that we're interested in doing. I think what you meant is CoinMetro is not going to have a spot market for tokenized securities. That is correct. We're going to have a derivatives market, which actually will drive a lot more volume than spot market would. As far as you know, so Ignium has its own affiliate program. I guess there probably is we probably do have the ability to kind of share that, meaning that if you're an affiliate on one side, you can be affiliate on the other. That has to be discussed, though, and I'm going to have a discussion, an internal discussion at Ignium about a few things. I'm going to bring this up, see what we can do, big guy. Big guy, I feel like I'm talking to a little small guy when I say big guy. Yeah, so and as far as more revenue streams for affiliates, absolutely. We're looking to add affiliates into a few extra products, especially once we launch challenger banking and neo-banking services, meaning IBAN accounts, third-party payments, et cetera, et cetera. Look for a lot of referral opportunity there, cards, et cetera. Also, with some of the additional passive income products that we plan to launch over the next months, I expect to have some additional revenue streams there for affiliates. So be on the lookout. Definitely bring this up internally as well here at CoinMetro so that I can get you some more information next week here on the AMA. You can always ask me in Telegram as well for updates as we move forward, but definitely something we're looking into. Appreciate the question, by the way. Referring to Big Guy's question, wouldn't it make sense to have a deeper integration of the Ignium spot market into this CoinMetro platform? Marketing two separate platforms is definitely more effort. That's true. They are two different companies, though. That's like saying, why doesn't Adidas sell shoes on Nike? Well, actually, that's probably not a good comparison because those are competitors. It's Friday. But they are two different companies. So I do agree that having some joint marketing makes sense for both companies. So more integration, yep, that may be possible. I'm not sure exactly how we would do that. Ignium's spot market isn't yet white labelable, though it's something that's been internally discussed. Potentially, though, we could have an API into their market and provide. What we could do is basically API into their market and provide a matching engine, potentially, but using all the liquidity from Ignium. That might be a possibility. That has to be discussed internally at Ignium to see if there's any conflicts of interest there. but that's potentially a possibility. Just remember, Ignium, CoinMetro is still a young company. Ignium's younger than CoinMetro. Ignium needs to grow its own product base before it's going to think about integrations. But it's getting to the point quite quickly, I say, over the next 3 to 4 months where it's gonna be able to start thinking about those things. And this is not a bad idea, so definitely will be discussed. Appreciate that, Sebastian. And yes, I agree with your point on marketing to platforms, absolutely. I missed you, Kevin. Thank you. Is that Clote account? Clote? Or is that Clote? Saw you wore a CoinMetro t-shirt at the wedding. How many other guests did you get to sign up? I didn't actively promote at the wedding. Plus, everybody there already knew about CoinMetro, considering that Salvatore is our CTO, and they were either his friends or his wife's friends. And I'm sure his wife also knows way too much about CoinMetro, probably wants to stop hearing about it. And his friends did as well. Some of them were already clients. Actually, some of us talked about crypto, XCM, and where price was headed. So no need to convert. Because essentially, well, I was preaching to the choir at the wedding. Are you listing ADA, bruh? Yeah, bruh. Yeah, bruh. ADA is coming. Not sure exactly when. I don't know if it's in the latest short list. Give me a second. I'll actually check because I was just checking the short list, actually. Give me a second while I check. Not in the current short list, but definitely in the short list. So yeah, it's coming, bruh. I'm gonna say we can probably get ADA done in August or so. They still come in July though, depending on how many listings we actually get done in July. Russian name, can't pronounce it, but wish I could. Is the new direction you took with marketing something you are comfortable with? Seems like quite a tone shift from how you presented yourself before. I don't think it's a tone shift at all. I'm not really sure exactly what you're referring to, whether that be YouTube videos, the short videos that we threw up as a test, or if you're talking about just social media in general. I think we've always been a playful company, a very serious company, but still playful and kind of a bit irreverent when it comes to the way we present ourselves. And that's on purpose. So I don't know if it's gone really away from how we've always presented ourselves, but I'd love to get some specifics on that to try and understand the question a bit better. If you want to post something, and I'll get to it at the end, towards the end of the show here, middle of the show, sometime in the show, and I'll answer it again. But I'm comfortable with up there. I think, look, finance is a serious game. Crypto isn't yet, should be though. Though some people do take crypto seriously, thank God. But at the end of the day, finance is boring for a lot of people. Everybody wants to make money, but most people don't want to hear about how exactly money's made or money works. And I think presenting that in a fun, irreverent way is a great way to reach a mass populace. When you look, having a blue and white website that looks like every other bank and saying that you provide bank-like services and talking about how, basically the specifics of and then the tech, and that is probably alluring for some, but I don't think it's alluring for most. So I kind of like the playful nature, but would love to hear some feedback because that's how we grow and make the company better, is getting client feedback. So appreciate the question. Last Friday of Q2. Yep. That's true. Wow. Can you tell us a little bit about the things on the roadmap that were missed, if they are still planned for Q3 or later? For me specifically, internal crypto transfers, lending, and third-party integrations. Okay. So I'm going to talk about the specific ones you mentioned, because if not, we're going to go off, well, not off topic, but this question might take a bit longer to answer. Not that we missed all that much, but I'm going to have to remember what's on the roadmap for Q2, which will take probably longer than me answering the question. Internal crypto transfers. So internal crypto transfers, the design is done. There's a pending legal question, which our newly appointed senior legal counsel and internal senior legal counsel hadn't yet gotten to. And we threw a lot of stuff at her. She's been on the job about a month and a half, I think. We threw a lot of stuff at her real fast. This is something that's still pending. I don't think we're going to have a legal issue. I think even under our current licensing, especially now with the EMI, we definitely don't have an issue with providing the service. Just simply wanted to cross those T's and dot those I's. So that definitely will come out this coming quarter. The design is done. As far as dev goes, dev most of it is done simply because we already allow internal crypto transfers to be manually processed when needed through our admin interface. It's just about adding that same functionality to the front end. Lending and third-party integrations. Third-party integrations really depends on what type of third-party integrations we're talking about. I think specifically we were talking about some of the staking, which is done. Obviously, we did that with Flux. KDA is done. We're just waiting basically to finalize a few things with KDA, but very, very soon you're going to see KDA bonding launch, and I do mean soon. Those are third-party integrations. I guess you could even call listings third-party integrations, at least if they're mainnet. But we also have some additional things in the pipeline. You're going to continue to see third-party integrations. That's not going to leave the roadmap. That's going to be in the roadmap probably for the next 5 years, because we're constantly going to be adding third-party integrations. IQ protocol, for example, hopefully coming up next as well, and lending. So lending, as far as design hasn't started yet. What we delayed a bit lending. Why? Simply because we need to make sure that we have the ability to generate revenue, and not just when things are lent so people can borrow. Because that's probably going to be small volume in the beginning, but there definitely be more people lending than borrowing. And that means that we need to make sure that we have ability to get yield on those assets in other ways. And whether that's through margin trading or whether that's through third-party integrations, we need to make that done first. And we're working on that now. So it's being worked on, but we haven't yet started working on the front-end development. We've been working more on the integrations and the partnerships to make sure that we can sustain the product. Q3, you may not still see lending. Q4, probably more likely. How was the wedding in Paris? Wedding was good, man. There was llamas. I don't know if you guys see the picture. There's actually a much better picture of me petting Oliver's head while Oliver's petting the 2 llamas. It's kind of like somehow the world just came into alignment. But I don't think Oliver wants anybody to see what it looks like, so he hasn't posted that one. And that's not on my phone, because if it was, I might have posted it myself. But the wedding was great. Salvatore and his new wife, Luisa, were absolutely smitten with each other and happy. So that's fantastic. That's what it's all about. The food was great. They did it. Everybody's making fun of me for being vegan, but the place did a fantastic, I think, 5 or 6 course vegan setup. I ate what was I eating a lot of? It was something that was almost on every plate, which everybody thought was comical. I don't remember what it is now, but it really was good. The wine was good as well. We had a good time. Still had a curfew in place, so we had to get out of there by about 11:30. But it was good. We had a lot of laughs. Oliver and I, Salvatore, and other people around the table. Was a good night. Salvatore got soaking wet in the rain, which added to the comic relief. So it was a good show. Good show. Hey Bobby, hello. When can we expect some compound staking option that automatically reinvests our staking rewards? I think that can come pretty quickly. I would put that in for Q3. I don't really see a reason, as long as your rewards are above the minimum stake, because they're going to create additional plans. Because especially when it's protocol staking, when it's not protocol staking, it's not getting attached to a node. We might not need to create an additional plan, but it might complicate things. So we might create additional plans, which means you'd have to have the minimum. But it is something that we're talking about looking into. Absolutely. Another question from Bobby. Reddit question from Cauliflower. That's like cauliflower. What does it take for an exchange as a CoinMetro to add a token? Genuine question right here. I'm curious to know, what are the key factors for adding any token? Well, it depends. We use BitGo as a custodian. If BitGo already has it listed, then it's easy for us, because the wallet's already created. We don't have to create an additional wallet in our own system, our own multi-sig wallet, Ether wallet system. That's if it's ERC20 and supported by BitGo. If it's not supported by BitGo, we need to create the wallet inside of our own system, test the wallet. We also need to look at the contract to see what deposit and withdrawal looks like. Sometimes fees are adjusted inside. We basically have to look at the code and see if there's anything surprising. But it's relatively easy because it's ERC20 and we already have Ether wallets integrated in the exchange. When it's mainnet, that means we have to write to that chain. So whatever chain it is, we have to create wallets, we have to create an API, we have to integrate that with our admin and our front end. So it's a bit more work. It can be a week, it can be 2 weeks, it can be longer. Something like Cadena, which had 20 chains, took longer because we had to go back and forth with them. No one else really had integrated the 20 chains, KuCoin. But we did, and it took a decent amount of time. It took about 3 weeks to do the integration. On the front end, you need to add the token symbols. We need to add in functionality into our deposit and withdrawal flows. That is relatively easy. That's a few days work, 1 to 2 days, maybe 3 days max. Then on the legal side, when it's something that isn't yet, let's say, broadly accepted and broadly understood, let's say, to be a utility, or not even a utility, but just not a regulated asset, we need to do a legal review. That means getting legal opinions from the issuer and also sometimes creating our own legal opinion internally. And that can take a week or 2 as well. So generally speaking, within about 3 weeks, and because obviously we can do legal and dev at the same time, it's not the same person doing legal and dev, thank God. But 3 weeks is about the time frame for a mainnet token. And if we've integrated to the particular chain that mainnet is sitting on, it can be a bit less on the dev side. So maybe it could be 2 weeks all in, including legal reviews. If it's ERC20, it can be a day or 2. Actually, we can get it done over a weekend. If it's ERC20 and supported by BitGo, 3 to 4 days if it's ERC20 not supported by BitGo. When will the physical XCM coins be sent out? Good question, Bobby, and I apologize for that. Oliver's in Estonia right now sitting next to those coins, so maybe he can get a jump on that. I unfortunately haven't been able to do it, and I'm currently not in Estonia, so very difficult for me to do it. But I'm going to try. I know I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I will do it at some point. Maybe by the time you get them, you're not even going to remember you asked for them. But I'm going to try to get it done. I'm not back in Estonia, though, for about 2 months. So Oliver's probably a man on that one. Is there a fireside chat plan with the team of Thought AI? Even after research, I still don't understand what they do. It's good. That's actually a good idea. Absolutely. Let's plan one. Guys, if you're listening, Cody, Oliver, Morteza, Edward, whoever's listening, let's get a AMI plan with the Thought guys. That'd be a good idea. When next capital infusion? Not sure about that question. You talking about XCM buybacks, maybe? I would say into Q4 potentially, but maybe not. We'll see. If it's something else, you're going to have to clarify that question because I can't answer it. Add thumbs up. Yes, please, thumbs up. Thumbs up are are always appreciated. They help us get more viewers. More viewers mean more clients. More clients means more people buying XCM. More people buying XCM means everybody that holds XCM is happier. That should include some of you guys, if not all you guys, I would hope. When will we receive Flux parallel assets? That's a question I'm going to bring up today, Friday, inside of our TGIF. You will receive them. No worries on that. They have been credited to the nodes. We just simply need to do the parallel accreditation across the CoinMetro platform. Now that our CTO is back, that's going to be on the high list of priorities. So I would suspect very shortly, but I'll get you an update and ask me in Telegram, and I'll give you the update. When do you expect for the summer on the market and CM side? Well, generally speaking, as markets mature and more institutional money comes in, summers become a lull period because institutions kind of go on vacation. We're not there yet for CoinMetro. We're not there yet for the broader market either, because it's mostly retail still. I would expect to see some additional volatility, though, over the summer because people actually go on vacation as well, though it's hard for people to pull themselves away from their Blockfolio or whatever, their portfolio. So at the end of the day, I do expect to see some additional volatility. Summers, I think the months leading up to the summer usually are quite good in terms of new price discovery to the upside for crypto, though July, August, I think still show a bit of a lull and a bit increased volatility. I would expect to see some of the same. We'll see how it pans out. For CoinMetro, we're going to continue working, continue building, continue recruiting. And I hope that coming out of the summer, we're going to have almost double the size of the team we currently have. And that's going to really help us push forward on the dev side and on every other side, to be honest. Okay, that was when my white balance was off. This is my sound check. Wow, so these were all asked even before I started, which is cool. Now I just launched. Oh, I'm an alien. Okay, jaundice. Yeah, I did have jaundice there for a moment. Hey, Kev. You look great. Thank you, Egypt Made Easy. Did you read the latest Talib paper on BTC? Just curious to hear your thoughts. I haven't yet. Somebody posted it for me in Telegram. I'll try to get it read over this weekend and then post my thoughts on it if anybody's interested. Hey, John, how are you? Don't forget to like everyone. Thank you, Egypt Made Easy. Like, thumbs up, confetti, heart, whatever you want to throw up there. The 60-second BizDev intro was cool. You should keep it up. Yep, I think I will. I don't know if I got any notes today, but definitely next week we'll start to do 60 seconds again. I think it was 90 seconds. We'll try to get it down to 60 seconds. Or I will. I'll try to get it down to 60 seconds. Have you heard of Flexa and AMP with regards to payment processing with cryptocurrency? And is this a coin you could recommend and maybe bring into the CM at some point? Well, I can't recommend it because I don't know enough about it to recommend it. I have heard of them, yes. I think crypto payment processing is probably a niche that's not going to last that very long. And I don't mean because I don't think people will pay in crypto, even though generally I think most people that hold crypto would rather not spend it. The point is that the major card and non-card processors are going to pick up crypto at some point. They may end up partnering with some of these companies. They may not. Probably more so they'll partner with exchanges because they need to liquidate in real time most of that crypto so that they don't get caught in fluctuations. They could definitely be something that we list, though. Not saying that it wouldn't be. Have to look a bit more into them. I do think once the ETCF launches, having like a payment processing ETCF with all the different payment processors, crypto payment processors and their tokens wouldn't be the worst idea. Hey, Kevin, now that Harold is not running the CV Reflect trend anymore, what are the alternatives to get the volume higher again? Well, I think it's an error to focus on higher volume on TRAM. It should be to focus on more profitability. I'd rather have every TRAM super profitable with less volume than lots of volume and they don't make money in the long run. So the plan is simply to come out with the V2 of TRAM, the newly revised version, which is a significant update to the current version, and then start to do some advertising to get some managers. Things also like 3 commas or stacked assets, these guys that have bots that are actively traded on lots of exchanges, working with them as well to open up TRAMs, automated TRAMs, giving people the option rather than having to pay the $49 a month or whatever it is, $100 a month, whatever it is, for these bots, they can actually just join the TRAM and pay when they're profitable. And I think that would be good for both companies. There's a third-party integration for you, and it's something that we're going to be talking about over the coming months once the TRAM update is out. But I think that the way to do that, yeah, is just I'd rather have TRAMs do almost no volume but be highly profitable. Why? Because the point of the TRAM is to make our clients money first and to make us money second. And I think that's an important difference between CoinMetro and Binance, CoinMetro and KuCoin, CoinMetro, and almost every other platform out there that looks to make themselves profitable before their clients. That's not how we do business. I want my clients to be profitable first because it means they're going to be my clients for longer. And over the lifetime of that client, we're going to make more money. That's for sure. We're still in a business, but they need to make money first. You need to make money first, not CoinMetro. Question about staking. It says there is a 50% penalty for exiting early. 50% of what? What part of Mexico you in? Hey, David, I'm close to Cancun. To answer your last question, and it's 50% of the accrued, I always mess that word up, 50% of the accrued interest, that is the penalty, not of your principal or anything like that. What are your thoughts on El Salvador and their approach to Bitcoin as a real currency? Well, I think it's a bit of a PR run. You know, El Salvador, I mean, has been in shambles in many ways for years, and they're lots and lots of crime in El Salvador. You have some of the worst gangs in the world coming out of El Salvador, Honduras, etc. Mara Salvatruchas, for example. Poverty rate there is I think one of the worst in Central and South America. Definitely within the Americas for sure. Countries that are sitting in situations like that it's much easier for them to move forward and act and be progressive. Just like small countries can be progressive quite easily, like Estonia, for example. So it doesn't surprise me that they move so quickly on this. What it really means for the country, well, most people in El Salvador can't buy Bitcoin. Now, if El Salvador is thinking about mining Bitcoin and distributing the mined Bitcoin to its people as a UBI, Universal Basic Income, that could be game-changing. That could be worldwide game-changing. And that would be a very interesting experiment. If El Salvador is thinking about mining Bitcoin just to enrich El Salvador as a nation, and at the end of the day, not really do anything for the people. Most people in El Salvador can't buy a Bitcoin, probably doesn't know what Bitcoin is. And if they do, they don't have enough money or probably the means to have the technology or whatever to even be able to buy that. Yes, most people have cell phones, that's for sure. But most people that have smartphones in El Salvador, I'm sure, are on prepaid plans and probably don't use much internet. And they probably get free internet for things like messaging services and maybe even Facebook, but they probably don't get free internet to go onto wallet apps or to go onto the internet itself to research Bitcoin. So I think it's an interesting experiment. I think they should think about UBI using Bitcoin, especially the ones they mine. I think that would be extremely amazing. Give everyone a wallet they can access for free on the telecom companies that currently exist in El Salvador, at least the main one. Let the people access that for free using their smartphones without having to pay for internet usage. Give them UBI based on the mined Bitcoin. That would be a game changer, and I'd love to see that happen. Other than that, it's just a PR stunt. Why do you look so orange today? Yeah, it's just I'm trying to mess around with the color here. I haven't yet gotten it right. This is close, I think, to my actual color right now, but it is a bit off. Anyway, we'll get it. Question about staking. It's about a 50% penalty for early exit. 50% of what? Also, oh, Jesus, I think I already mentioned that question. Answer that question. Hello, Mr. Murcko. Have you ever been rug pulled? Well, rug pulled is in investing in some DeFi nonsense project and then losing all my money? No. Rug pulled is in invested in something and lost all my money? Absolutely. No, every investor has. If an investor tells you they've never invested in something that went to zero, they're lying to you. Hey, Baldy. Hey, Bjorn. Nice to see you, buddy. Any updates on KDA bonding? I've been out of the loop for a while. Very, very imminent. KDA bonding is imminent. I'll put it that way. Any, what time we got going? I don't know. Okay, sorry. Any early, for some reason, I'm sitting on a MacBook right now. It says it's Saturday, the 29th of May at 5:31 a.m. All those are incorrect. And it says it's synced with Apple time. So, bada boom. An early Q1 roadmap mentioned XCM liquidity pools. Is this still being considered? Q1 roadmap, yeah. And if we're maxed out at staking, can we put XCM in these liquidity pools for even more passive income? Liquidity pools are, yes, going to happen. We're just figuring out exactly how we want to integrate those liquidity pools and what people are going to get for putting money into those liquidity pools, mainly XCM and other assets. The limit on staking, the goal is to remove that entirely. But yes, while that limit is there, when liquidity pools are launched, you will be able to add additional assets in the liquidity pool because liquidity pool and staking will be two separate offers. So no issue there. Kevin looks tired. Long day night at CoinMetro space station. Yeah, I'm a bit tired. I've been getting up about 6 a.m. and going to bed around 11 or 12. Just trying to get acclimated to the new time zone. Also been out in the heat a bit, which I'm not used to now since I've been living in Estonia. But I'm okay. I'm okay. Plus, I got to wake up early, man. That's it. Is XCM continuously up and down fluctuations with the general crypto value plummet affecting all cryptos at the moment? Kelchi King. Hey, Kelchi. So, crypto does correlate. So the market being jittery and up and down does mean that most alts, especially smaller alts, are going to follow the same pattern. Not for any other reason other than inexperienced retail investors correlate all cryptos together for some reason, even though they shouldn't. Most people wouldn't correlate all stocks. You know, if the Dow falls, doesn't mean every stock fell. There are days where the entire Dow, the entire S&P, the entire Nikkei index, et cetera, Nikkei 30, Nikkei whatever, are down. But generally speaking, that also happens because of retail money, because people generally correlate things together. So the correlation is one thing. The other thing is simply that it's still an illiquid asset. It's more liquid than it was a year ago, absolutely, but it's still illiquid, which means when there are movements, they tend to be exaggerated. And that also comes from it being a retail market. Moves become exaggerated. Moves to the upside are exaggerated. Moves to the downside are exaggerated because people FOMO in and they capitulate out. And that's normal. And that's the way the market's going to be until more institutional funds flow in. That's crypto in general. I would say when you invest in something that's volatile and that's high risk, and that's all of crypto, you need to look at a long-term approach. You don't really want to be in the short term. Try to get passive income off your assets and sit there for the long term. Remember that Buffett made his money not by picking the right stocks in terms of if they'll go up in price over time, but by picking the right stocks for dividends. His wealth is almost entirely based on the dividends he received from the stock picks he made 30, 40 years ago. It's not due to him picking the bottoms and buying in at the bottom and getting the best prices. No, it's about getting into assets that provide passive income. And it should be the same thing here in crypto. Appreciate that, SO. I'm trying. Kessler, can you get a ballpark when crypto prices will return to relatively stable? Well, I don't have a crystal ball, but crypto has never been stable. So for it to be stable, we need a lot more money to roll into this market. And that can take a decade from now. But if it's stable, it also means that you won't see the same returns. You won't see Bitcoin doing 200% yearly compounded on average. You won't see 10, 25, 10,000x returns on multiple assets year on, year out. That will stop. Why? Because when more money rolls in, volatility rolls out. So in terms of higher pricing, if that's what you mean, back up to where we were, I think we do have a chance to see those by the end of the year. And that doesn't mean till the end of the year. It could happen before. It really depends on really the general attitude towards the market. It's not about fundamentals so much. It's not so much. It's about what's people's feeling towards the market. Do people feel that price will go higher? If they feel price is going to go higher, they're going to buy. And they're going to buy more, which inevitably will lead to price going higher. Considering that institutional flows probably slowed down a bit since the crash from 60, though those that did buy on the way up are probably buying now. Look, if you went into a store today, let's say you were shopping for a car, let's put it this way, and you walk into a store, you don't buy cars at stores, you buy cars at dealerships. Anyway, you walk into the dealership and the car has a sticker on it of 60K. And you go, this car, I love this car. I finally have enough money to buy this car. I'm coming in tomorrow and buying it. I finally have been able to, save up. I'm coming back tomorrow. And you come back the next day and the car's 35K. Do you go, I don't want this car anymore? Or do you go, oh, Jesus, you're awesome. And you buy it and you're even happier for it. In fact, you throw a bunch of options in the car because you just saved a bunch of money. But what happens when your favorite crypto goes from 60K to 30K and everybody goes, I don't know if I want to buy now? Why is that? That mentality is quite weird, but that's the mentality most people have. However, institutions have a different mentality. If I liked it at 60, I love it at 30. And so those that did buy in are definitely buying more, but they want to be able to accumulate enough so that they can hedge their risk if price doesn't go back to 60, but maybe hovers around 40, 50 for months on end, years on end. They need to make sure they can accumulate enough at lower prices, which means it's beneficial for them for prices to sit at lower prices for longer periods. We talk about Wyckoff cycles on here for many, many times. So I would expect an accumulation phase. We can even go slightly lower than we are now. In fact, we could go all the way down, maybe 12, 13, 14, 15K on Bitcoin. It's possible because that would put us into that same 80 some odd percent correction that Bitcoin usually sees, has seen it now 7, 8, 9 times in the past 12 years. I don't necessarily expect that yet. However, I wouldn't really bat an eye if we went lower than we are now and continued the accumulation inside this current range that we're currently sitting in. When app, early August, first version of app, we expect to be in the App Store. Malta just got put on the FATF list, gray list this week. How serious do you think this will be for our financial sector? I'd love to hear your perspective on it. Well, that was expected. They got a slap on the wrist from the ECB about AML, lax in AML, and they were given a time limit to fix. Well, they didn't fix it. That, along with, obviously, Malta has been big on gaming forever. They try to do FX, they failed. They try to do crypto, they generally failed at that. I think part of the reason as well is that they were going around touting Binance for so long, even though Binance never got licensed. And now that's coming back to haunt them a bit with this FATF. Look, FATF gray list, they can jump in and out of that gray list. They can go back on the white list. if they just fix what they need to fix. I'm not sure it's going to have a massive impact, but those that have Maltese-based companies that are now looking to open new banking relationships or maintain current banking relationships might have an issue. Hopefully it's short-lived and they'll be able to get themselves off that list, though that's probably going to take at least 6 months to a year. And in that time, I don't expect a lot of new business to flow to Malta, that's for sure. Are you going to have perpetual futures? Once we have that MTF license, we can open up perpetual futures, absolutely. Can you explain what the new TRAM update brings? Is the release date planned? I don't have the release date sit in front of me currently, but it is planned for this coming quarter. It's revised from a visual standpoint, so it looks more like all the other pieces of the platform after they've been revised visually. So new UI, new UX. Also going to add in some options so people can take a percentage of closed profits and move them out of the TRAM so they don't get locked in again in the case where the TRAM manager holds positions for a long time, like the current 2 TRAMs have been doing. That's not the norm, I would say. Most people don't trade like that, but when people do trade like that, when people are hedging constantly, which I would never advise, this will end up helping those specific type of TRAMs to be able to lock profits outside of the TRAM. Also, we'll give you some additional statistics, allow you to analyze the TRAM a bit more, give you more information on position sizing and how the TRAM trades, more dynamic stats, more dynamic information as well about the history of what's happened in the TRAM, more information about the manager, etc. So lots of small things, but culminating into one massive update. When can we make a request for physical XCM coin? Well, you can make the request anytime you want inside of our Telegram group. I would tag Oliver on that one for now since I'm not in Estonia. Sorry, Oliver, but you're going to have to go to the post office at some point. You think Coinbase adding Dogecoin will backfire for them in any case, or is any increase in volume good for them? Well, that depends on their business model. I didn't list it because I think it potentially could backfire on us. Obviously, Coinbase listed it, and then people had an easy way to cash out, and it tanked. That doesn't mean it's going to continue to tank or go to zero or whatever. But I think it's kind of shameless. That's how I look at it. Why shameless? Well, Coinbase already has volumes. They may have decreasing volumes. I don't know. But adding something like that just because it has volume, knowing that it has really no underlying value and that it potentially can go to zero pretty easily, especially if capitulation hits hard, I think is a bit sophomoric and a bit just a bit immature of them, to be honest. I don't think it's necessarily going to backfire on their brand. I mean, most people that know Coinbase think it's a shitty, they hate the customer service blows. They never answer any questions. Their pricing sucks. So what it is, it's probably helping them, which is what they've always tried to do, is just bring in new users. They get the new users. Eventually they find out Coinbase sucks and they move on. But their bread and butter is churning new users because their users come in, they leave, and they bring in new users again. And I think that's probably why they listed it. And for that, it's probably not going to backfire. Hello from India. Hey, Nikki, how are you? Is that it? No, that's Ireland. Sorry, that's Ireland. Jesus. Friday. The 12-month stake reward for XCM is more than double of the 1-month reward. Wouldn't it be more profitable to stake for 12 months and then cancel after 1 month and then just stake for 1 month? Yeah. That is something that we're looking at in terms of how we set things up currently. So you're right. But yeah, I guess not everybody figures that out though. So thanks, Bill, for asking the question. But those tiers will be revised more than once. So expect to see some revisions and hopefully down the line revised higher. That's the goal. Can we get an update on the company business plan, cost forecast, revenue forecast? I can give you a high level. Obviously, more. I guess is more revenue, less cost as a percentage of revenue. I think we set out a plan of 30% month-on-month growth for this year. We hit that growth every month up till June. June, we're not going to hit the 30% growth in revenue, though I think we're still going to hit it in growth in terms of client base. However, I do look, as somebody asked in another question, when the market is swaying, when the market is moving, it affects all aspects of this business. So when the market moves in one direction, When the market starts to move down, that generally slows the the amount of incoming clients into crypto in general. It slows down the amount of buying many retail guys are doing, though smart retail and institutions actually buy more. People do sell, obviously, so volumes tend to stay more or less where they were. However, it does limit sometimes the amount of new players coming into the market. I expect us to do quite well. Look, we are essentially profitable at this point. Our burn rate is low enough for the current capital on hand is about a 3 to 4 year runway. We are definitely going to be raising money in the next year or two. We're going to do a massive raise at that point. We have lots of new products coming out. Where marketing is going to continue to expand. Marketing's budget is going to continue to expand. So I think all things are relatively rosy. As far as the business plan, next major step, well, the app is a major step, but outside of the current product offerings we have and moving into more passive income, et cetera, is the neobank side. And that neobank side is going to help us bring in lots more clients that are looking for just neobank services and then get them into these passive income opportunities without them even needing to understand a thing about crypto. And I think that's going to be amazing for company growth. Good to have you back in the AMA. Thanks, Kim. I understand our earned XCM rewards are not compounded with the stake. Why not? Is that coming? It would make a lot of sense adding compounded interest to the game. Well, it would make a lot of sense for you guys. It doesn't make much sense for us to be able to calculate how much treasury we need to pay out before we can take staking off of treasury. Once staking is off of treasury, compounding is not an issue at all. And it's definitely something we want to offer our clients because it also means that they hold longer, and holding longer is one of the reasons why staking even exists in the first place, because it pulls a circulating supply off the market. So it's something we want to do, but we don't want to be paying compounded interest out of treasury. It doesn't make any sense for us, which means it doesn't make any sense for you as a client when you really think about the longevity of the program and the company as a whole. But it is something that we want to do, and we will do it once we remove staking from treasury and move it into its own, let's say, kind of like terrarium style ecosystem, right? Where things just kind of perpetuate themselves and we don't have to be pushing money in from treasury. Expect that to happen anywhere from 30 to 180 days. Already in talks, already have things, already looking to sign some contracts to potentially assist in getting there sooner, but could take as long as 6 months. I expect it to take less. When do you expect more? We need to get this thing between that 30 and 180 days. We need to get this thing out of treasury. Once we do that, then it's about ramping up our ability to earn money on the staked XCM. Once we do that, then we'll remove the limitation, or at least we'll probably do it gradually to 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, and then take it away. I would expect that gradual to start within 60 days of staking being self-sustainable at its current levels. So that means it could be anywhere from 90 to 240 days from now. That's it. I got to throw all questions. Amazing. And we're just coming up on the hour. So I think that was pretty good. Anyway, awesome Friday, guys. I'm glad to actually have this set up here, so you don't have to just sitting in my living room or something, which is awesome. I'm going to make this a little bit better for next week. May have to get a different camera. I don't know, adjust some color levels, maybe some lighting. I'll figure it out. Hopefully I have time, but I think I'll figure it out. Till then, guys, have a great weekend. Spend time with friends and family. If you can't do it physically, do it virtually. And when you're doing it virtually, make sure that in the middle of the conversation at some point, just look to the right and scream, "Buy XCM!" and then look back and act like nothing happened. Get it subliminally into their head. I think what we should do is create a screensaver that everybody can use that just flashes "Buy XCM," where you can't really see it with the naked eye, but your brain sees it. I'm going to think about that. Anyway, obviously, if people are feeling down because you can't visit your family, buying XCM usually makes you feel happier, at least in my experience. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for coming here. Thanks for all the questions. Yeah, reverb. I asked if there was an echo or something. I am in a room that's prone to echo. I've done a few things to eliminate that echo. I'll do a little more coming this week. Anyway, have a great weekend, guys. See you on Telegram. Tag me on Telegram at Kevin Murcko. Tag me or tweet me on Twitter at Kevin Murcko if you have any questions. And see you guys here next week, and see you in Telegram over the weekend. Cheers.